Hey, welcome to DM's Craft Short Tip. I'm DM Scotty. Good to have you with me. I had a little interesting craft project today. I wanted to show how to make a magical gate. Very easy to do. So that's going to be the short tip today. We're just going to craft a gate, and let's get right to it. Here I've got my materials that I'm going to need to make the gate. So I'll put those aside for a sec. And here's the tile I'm going to use that I'm going to put the gate on. And the gate will go right here. So what I've done is I've pre-cut this thin piece of cardboard. So it'll fit right on that area right there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the gate. So I want to do it kind of irregular. So I'll kind of go like that. I'm going to make it a little bigger. There we go. So now I'll cut that out. This is the thin cardboard, so it's not too hard to cut out. So I'll just kind of make a jagged edge. And make sure you get fairly close to the edge there. So that looks good. Looks like that'll block the way for the players. So now I need a way for this to stand up. Obviously it's not going to stand up on its own. So I'm going to cut a base. And the size I like to cut for these type of things is 2/3 of an inch. So I'll measure the length of this. I got that. And then I'll do 2/3 of an inch. All right, so I got that. And a quick cut out of the scissors. And there I have my cardstock base. Now I'm not going to glue this immediately to the gate because I want to paint the base the same texture as the tile. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint this black spray this base black and then paint it with the texture paint so it'll match the tile. So, and then I will paint the gate separately, and then I will glue the two together. So now I'm going to put some, I'm going to use the glue gun for some detail on this gate. Now this is a step you could skip, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue gun and I want to cover up these edges of corrugation. So I'm just going to go along the edge and fill that in with the glue gun. Okay, so now I've got all that done, and I'll move on to the next step. So I've got my gate and I've zoomed in here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to take the hot glue gun and I'm going to put some texture on this gate. You could do like swirl type thing, or I'm going to do like little squiggly lines that kind of come into the center. So I'm going to start at the edge and then pull into the center and then taper off. Hope you can see this here. So this will give kind of a neat effect. It'll give actually some relief when I paint it. I'm also going to do some in-between lines, a little smaller. So you want to have a light touch with this. Okay. So let's see if you can see that. So I got that detail on there. So now I'll do the other side, and then we'll move on to the next step. Now, when you see this gate, you'll notice that unlike most pieces that I paint, I've actually painted it white instead of black. The reason for this is most objects start from a point of shadow and then you add color to them. So if you're doing a stockade, you want it to have dirty areas and shadow, so you paint it black and then you can build up the color up from there. Well, in a gate, it's kind of like a luminescent object, so I find it better to start from a place of white, of light, as opposed to dark, so that's why I've done this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a royal purple, and I'm going to get my brush very wet. I'm going to grab some of that purple, and I'm going to kind of wash this gate. And you see that really starts to have those areas that I've hot glued on there kind of pop out. And so we'll let that dry, and then we'll move to the other side and do the same thing on the other side. I'm not going to show that because I'll just show the one side. So, but that's this is very wet right now, so we'll let this dry and then we'll move on to the next step. So there's my dried royal blue, or royal violet. So I'm going to add a little more interest on here. I think I'm going to add some rings of royal violet. And so I'll kind of go So just add a little more interest there. Put a dark edge on there too. And we'll let that dry and move to the next step. So that light orchid kind of brought out those shapes. So what I'm going to do now to kind of accentuate that is I'm going to use a light Inca gold. This will not only bring some interesting color into it, it'll also, it's metallic, so it'll add like a sheen to this gate and make it look magical. So see how those raised areas really pop out. And this just adds to the effect of it being a magical gate. So, see a little closer there. So you can see the effect. I'll paint the other side and then we'll be finished with this gate. The only thing remaining is to take the gate and glue it to the base. Now the base is just that cardstock, and I painted it with the texture, the brown texture paint, so it would match the tile. And now I just need to attach this to the base. So I'll get my trusty glue gun. Shoot for the middle of the base. And we'll hold it for a few seconds. And voila, we have our gate. Now, With the gate, you could add a little more magical effect if you want, or make it a little foofier, I guess. If you want to put some, you could put some glitter on it, anything like that. Just use the white glue and put a thin, either put it on by hand or use a brush, and just put a thin layer of white glue and just sprinkle some glitter on there. That's something you could do. I'm not going to do that with this gate, but if you wanted to, you could do that. So here I'm going to grab my tile. So here's the tile I was going to have, and the gate was going to be popping up here, so you can see it fits perfectly on that tile. The base blends right in with the tile, and it totally fills the hallway. So that's kind of the idea of this gate, that the players have to figure out how to get past it. So there we go, and that's our gate. And you could do different patterns of this. You could do, instead of doing the squiggly lines in, you could do swirls or anything you like. Use any color. If you has a gate to hell, use reds and fire. I just wanted some gate to like some weird nether region, so I made it, just gave it interesting colors. So there we go, there's our gate, and we'll see you next time.